you still buy creatine?
What is creatine?
You know, like the stuff that you take when you're for weightlifting.
Oh,
How would you know?
There's
the stuff that you take for weightlifting. It's a chemical. I am a little far out of my organic chemistry class, but it's a chemical that is an organic chemical that's like a salt or a crystal or something that your body makes normally, and it's part of the energy production, the ATP cycle in your muscles. And when you take it orally, or I suppose you could shoot it, maybe not, it goes, your muscles go, oh, look at this, there's a creatine lying around. And it puts it in your muscles, and so you have more...
Muscle mass?
No, you have more energy to do workouts. It's not steroids, and there's a big deal about it a while back because, I mean, there might be a actual problem with it with kidney elimination and other things that it might do to you, but it's just something that, like, it's like doping your muscles, sort of. Because the problem with working out is you want to work out as hard as and as long as you can. If you go 1, 2, 3, oh, I'm done, you're not going to get any gains. But if you work out a lot, great. Now there is a point of failure where you're not going to be able to work out anymore. But this like lets you work out longer.
I see.
To more thoroughly, exercise your muscles.
Okay. I don't
I'm
see
a big
why
musclehead. Yeah, I've been down there. Yeah.
I don't see why.
I've been to a Gold's Gym. I've driven by a Gold's Gym.
Wow. I don't see why they wouldn't have this still.
Because there's a really big, because of like things like fen-phen and like other supplements that are very harmful. Again, like I said, I don't know where the FDA came down on. I'm willing to admit that this might be harmful, but we used to take this when I was a weightlifter. We took this by the cupful.
Oh, really?
All the time.
Well, that's kind of scary. Like the possibility that it could be dangerous for you, and you just took it like it was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Feels like a grab bag today.
Does it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Sometimes you don't have anything to talk about because you don't want to talk about Watchmen, and so you're left kind of holding the bag. So the bag is grab, and I think that's what we're going to do today on the Just Enough Trope podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana.
And yeah, I mean, I'll probably put a cough drop in later. I might not be fully committed to this all the way, but here we are.
Here we are.
Hoping to, if we hadn't said that, we would have delivered a show that would have blown your ass off, and you never would have known.
You're right.
But we like to be honest here. Something I've been thinking about, just to be honest, is like, I like every song's about love, or most songs are about love.
Sure.
The Talking Heads just sort of sing about whatever, but like most songs are about love, and like 75% of those songs are about being excited that you found this love, loving the love that you have, or trying to get the love back that you have lost through circumstances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So George Michael, love George Michael, but like Never Gonna Dance, A Careless Whisper, Teacher has told me goodbye or whatever. Like a lot of his songs are about love that has gone wrong.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I love songs, since I can't get around having to love songs. I love songs that are depressing and weird.
Okay.
Right? Songs that are like, this love is kind of weird. What's going on with this? This is strange. And I've sort of
like
you're
Tainted
really
Love or something like that.
No, because Tainted Love is just about a love that has gone wrong.
Well, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
Dumb. Anyway, not a soft sell guy. It's a cover of somebody else. Who originally wrote that song?
I don't know.
Not music experts. And that's how we start this segment. So here's what I like. Tell me how you feel. I like Please Don't F My Husband songs.
Oh my gosh.
Or Wife.
Right.
A song where you are not speaking to the object of your affection. You're speaking to the person who will be the object of their affection next.
Yeah.
I think the trope namer in this case would be Your Jolene's.
Yes.
But there's also Tell Her No, right, by the Zombies.
Sure.
That's the one that's like, she's gonna come around trying to like kind of blow you, and you should say, no, thank you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on, more songs like that. What else we got? Come on, go.
I'm not really good at this.
Yeah, well, it's my thing, but you're gonna help me.
Jolene was like the biggest one I was thinking of. I
also like this doesn't fit in there, but Don't You Want Me Baby, the Human League.
Mm-hmm.
That's more that is a love song. That there's a problem, but I like that there are two main characters in this song.
Yeah.
And the one guy's like, "Oh, come on, what's going on, man?"
Right.
And then the other side of the song, which you never hear, is like, this guy's not that great.
Right. I'm trying to think of songs that fit in this category, and I'm not coming up with anything.
You can't reach into your broad knowledge of early 2000s alternative? Like Self? That Self doesn't have a song that's... It'd be easy for you to just throw back. Yeah, look who's talking. That dog. Look who's talking. Gin Blossoms. That's another reason I like the Gin Blossoms. A lot of their songs are just like, things have gotten really bad at this point, you know?
Yeah.
I found out about you.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not even, and it's a stalker thing. Like it's worse than, Maneater is another good one. It doesn't fit into this category, but it's not even like, I'm clearly the singer of the song has experience, but he's telling some other fresh, doe-eyed young buck, you know, stay away from that one.
Yeah.
Look out.
Right.
Watch out. No, but the Gin Blossoms one is like, I don't think he's even been with this girl. Or if they even were together for a long time. And like,
yeah.
Because by the end of the song, like he's outside of her house and like maybe he's got a gun or something like that. It's just like...
It's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
I do like the Gin Blossom song Till I Hear It From You, but that's like more of a classic kind of love song, I feel like.
No, there's a note of melancholy, like what's exactly going on here.
Well, yeah.
But that's your Empire Records.
Yeah,
showing through.
it is.
Here's another one I like. You can do whatever you want to me and don't call me. Or like, I don't expect a call tomorrow. Yeah, right. Those are your just call me angel in the morning. Your help me make it through the nights.
Yes.
What's the other one?
I feel like we can't.
You don't have to say you love me. Just I don't know what the song's called, but the Desi Springfield one.
Yeah, right. Does the Sugar Ray song with the four-poster bed, does that fit into it? Or is that something else? Okay.
You always with the Sugar Ray. See? How far apart did 1459 and Subliminal Plastic Motive come out? This is a razor thin slice of our audience right here.
I really
Cough
don't
drop's
know.
going in.
Okay.
Cough drop's going in. That's where we're at.
Okay. All right.
Come on, give me something. I know that's more that's another kind of genre of this that I like, which is I'm really messed up, love is terrible, but everybody sucks at it and everything's really terrible. It's like, wow, it's really depressing that myself and also everyone else is so unfaithful to each other.
Right. Okay.
That's your Every Mornings. That's your what's that Blondie? Call Me.
Yeah.
Call Me is like, that's written on a bathroom wall.
Yeah,
isn't
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Like Weezer, every single one of their songs is some off the mark love song.
I guess so.
Well, the ones that are about love at all. Like their whole first album is not about love. It's about like child abuse and also surfing to work. And then Pinkerton, the parts that aren't about just straight out being a hebephile are, I think, fit into this. Like, what's going on in Falling for You?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
like
so.
he's ostensibly singing to someone, but he's like going through their stuff in their basement or something like that.
Yeah, it's unclear. And then like Pink Triangle is kind of weird too.
Yeah, that's a good one. But that's also like, he's not even singing it to the person, he's just singing it in general. It's like, pull up a chair.
Right.
Let me tell you this story. It's one you've heard before.
Right.
My unfamiliarity with LGBTQ semiotics.
Right.
Symbology.
Right. I thought you were the perfect one for me. And
are we supposed to feel bad for him?
I think we are.
Is Rivers Cuomo an ally? I mean, he's not an ally to like people who like good music, but not anymore. But
yeah, I know. I think we are supposed to feel bad for him.
Oh, well, then he's not an ally.
Oh,
he needs to get over it.
Okay. I mean, Only in Dreams was on their first album. That's kind of a love song. It's kind of a sad song. I don't know if it really fits into any of these categories. But I mean, Veruca Salt, a lot of their songs are kind of love songs, too.
It's just so, all right. The slice is getting
Very thin.
molecule thicker, but
Yeah.
not by much.
I know.
I mean, I got to tell you, it's possibly my age and the time that I grew up, but you're naming a lot of bands that I enjoy, and it's for that reason.
Right.
I think. I mean, for the sound, but also because a lot of those bands' songs are that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Somebody I haven't followed much post this release, because we all liked it at the time, but this leads me to the next category, which is straight up Boil Your Rabbit songs.
Your rabbit
like
songs.
You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
Uh-huh, sure.
And to rope another band that probably doesn't want to be any part of this in that I enjoy would be the band Garbage. And half of their songs are Boil Your Rabbit songs. You know?
What do you mean by boil your rabbit?
Like you made a big mistake breaking up with me.
Oh.
Or
Okay,
you made
sure.
a big mistake going out with me. Either way, you're going to end up in a dumpster.
Yeah. They kind of sound like revenge-y.
Yeah, we're in a relationship, and it's a revenge.
Yeah.
It isn't like Blondie. We get it. Like you're mad, you broke up,
Right.
but yeah, she's gonna. Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
What happened?
And yeah, I think that like some bands, like you feel like they can't, if they're not happy, then they're not making good music. I mean, if they're happy, they're not making good music. So like, they have to be kind of.
I thought you meant like they don't want to be making the album like a like Metal Machine Music, that album that Lou Reed made to get out of a record
right.
deal. It's just squeaks and squawks.
Yeah.
No, I can see what you mean. Yeah.
You know, like I think like Rivers Cuomo, for example, like you know, he gets happier, he's not as depressed, and then his songs are not as good.
Is he ever really going to be happy?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's happy.
Okay.
He's a little weirdo, but you know, but yeah, and I'm trying to think of like who else. I mean, I guess a lot of the female bands in like the 90s have kind of like this angry edge to them. You know, like
why would they be mad?
Because they're not getting enough respect or something. I don't know.
Well,
like Fiona Apple too. Like
I thought you were gonna say like L7.
Oh well,
or
L7,
Liz Phair.
L7, Liz Phair, Breeders. You know, the Breeders in
their long storied catalog. They're still together. I mean, at this point, this is the end point of bands now. Is that you just get back together?
Right.
The aforementioned Veruca Salt.
Exactly.
I saw Breeders do a Tiny Desk concert for NPR. I'm like, the Breeders are together still?
Yeah.
So I can't wait till Outkast gets back together when they're all on AARP checks and stuff.
Oh no.
They get it out. Hey,
Yeah.
That's a song that's specifically about. Everything sucks. Everybody's unfaithful.
And it's kind of like a weird one because like it sounds so happy that
that was the goal.
If you don't listen to the
Y'all don't want to hear
lyrics,
me. You just want to dance. Yeah. That's baked in.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I guess I don't know. We don't talk about music enough. It's on our masthead. We never talk about music, and we're really not ostensibly talking about music today. But I just wanted to get in a little, mostly because I think one of my favorite bands now. I never thought about this. It took me this long to appreciate their childishness. Is the B-52s?
They're great. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
What's
think
your
they're
favorite
great.
B-52 song? If you say Rock Lobster, this is over.
Oh boy.
Love Shack. Right. Got it.
Yeah, okay, guilty as charged, but I do think that they're a fun band, and you know, I feel like that fun is like baked in, you know.
Yeah, I mean, their songs are about love only tangentially, you know, generally. Mm-hmm. I mean, Love Shack, but
right.
Then there are like these sort of narrative things about having a Chrysler, and they're partially nonsensical. If you ever watch their videos are perfect. They're the perfect visual representation of their songs. And I don't mean the one-to-one translation of a bad video. You know, he handed me a Vegemite sandwich and it's a guy who gives him a Vegemite sandwich. Right. The worst kind of videos. But they are the same kind of random image, cut up, just fun and funny. I mean, because of the band's like assemblage, also very like RuPaul's in some of their later videos.
Sure.
They're very like LGBTQ friendly.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And the quality of the music goes down as they get older, but they definitely just they didn't say like it's not like the aforementioned Weezer that's like, we're out of ideas, let's do like a shaker hymns, or what are the kids doing on the internet with the Mentos or whatever.
Get memes
If
down
you just
here.
were like, all we've got left is like fun and just everybody having fun. So good stuff, everybody. It's like, all right, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like that they always kind of knew what they wanted to be, and they were so good and they were so poppy that you've got, White Lion is on, the other side of the dial, or maybe on this station too.
Yeah.
And you've got, the first sort of inklings of grunge, but they're just like, they were so good they could not be on the radio.
Yeah.
If you were a radio guy, a programmer, you're like, well, that's got to be on there. But like, who's this guy's going, let's set sail? A lady in a beehive? How does this fit in with like the cool flock of seagulls haircuts that everybody's got? It's just, they just have their own sensibility, and
they do.
We can't not have them on here. They're too good.
Can't ignore them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're unignorable. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But mostly because they're setting sail. Oh my God, you can't ignore them.
Yes, I know.
I also like the
very
fact,
piercing.
Yeah, they've been together forever. I was reading about them the other day, and like I read that in their third album, the title escapes me, but they got David Byrne to help them.
Oh, awesome.
Produce it. Hold on. Like he quit or they fired him. Because they disagreed over the direction of the album. So when you're already like, let's set sail.
Yeah.
And you fire David Byrne because they're like, you don't get it, man. Then you know what you're doing. Now, I don't know if it's good or anybody else will ever understand, but when you send David Byrne, 1983 David Byrne packing, you knew exactly what you wanted to do, and you just kept doing it.
I guess fair. You do you, B-52s. You do you.
Yeah. So we'll be sprinkling their music throughout the show if we don't get... We will get copyright. We'll get demonetized, but hopefully we won't get copyright struck. All right, so we did that. Grab bag, like I said. What are we going to talk about today? Talk about the news.
Yes.
As we always do. I also wanted to talk about something that just randomly we got a chance to see, a film called The Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, sure.
Which was a sensation when it came out in 1992, and I feel is not talked about all that much these days, but is still fondly remembered. 96 or 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, nobody can speak against this film,
right?
Until I force you to say something bad about it. And that's coming up on the show. And then finally, at the end of the show, it's finally we did it. Who couldn't wait?
Yep,
couldn't wait to do it. Finally got a chance to do it. We're going to talk about the John Wick trilogy, soon to be the John Wick quadrology.
I know.
A movie starring Keanu Reeves, who is, the people say the Keanu sauce, but what did I say? I said the Age of En-Reeves-enment.
Yeah, I like
Let's not just repurpose Keanu sauce, because a lot of his films are just repurposed. Other films, let's save it for that segment. So, talking about John Wick.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's going well.
I know the answer.
I'm a little sick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do my best to bring it.
And you're in the worst place too, because you're sick, but you haven't taken enough opioids yet or narcotics to push it into like good territory.
Be loopy and stuff like that.
To get the real,
I'm not loopy.
The real good stuff out of you. But yeah, we will. We're all pulling for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
The end.
The end.
Okay, see. All right, you're going to go do some NyQuil shooters, and we'll be back with the news. I like when Harry's Razors send me a spam that's like, regarding your trial offer.
What?
Like I already had one.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're going to take it away or something.
Right.
I'm like, wait, you can't take away my trial offer that I haven't signed up for.
Right. Is it supposed to give you indignation or
that's
something?
That's some Trojan horsing BS.
It is.
That I'm not down for. So I'm going to say we're not even sponsored by them, but go with Man Face or whatever it's called. What's the one that's not?
I don't know.
There's Harry's and then there's
manicure or something like that. I don't know
Shavy
what it's
Wavy.
called. Shavy Wavy.
Google them.
Okay.
It's real. Google Shavy Wavy, but don't do Harry's. You know what's going on with Blizzard right now? Have you heard about this?
A little bit. They one of the gamers on this huge competition said something about supporting the protesters in Hong Kong, and they took his reward money away from him, and they blocked him for a year, and then they kind of backtracked that. And people are saying boycott Blizzard because they're doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And anything else? I'm sure there's more stuff.
They have a forum on Blizzard whatever, and they've got Twitch and Discord, I'm sure, just like we do.
Yeah.
Just on Trip Discord, join us. Tell us we're wrong about John Wick. Yeah. And so anyway, they're banning people on Twitch chat for saying pro Hong Kong things. They're just they haven't apologized, and they're going the whole way on this.
Yeah.
Now, before we completely tear these guys a new asshole, I will say that gamers, young people,
yes,
number one, young people on the internet,
yes,
and young people gamers are all trash people. And I say that having been one of them. Take the young away, and I'm still one of those people.
Right.
They're trash.
Okay.
And so they just I don't know if it comes from the interactivity of video games and being able to push a stick and see somebody saw a hooker's head off or whatever. But I think that they you see something on the internet and you go, oh boy, that's tragedy. Or how wonderful. And you would never think of participating.
No.
And it's on your Facebook wall.
Right.
But yeah, gamers will tell you how they feel, and they won't think twice about what it means. And so once they learn that the new trolling is to be pro Hong Kong, even though you don't know what's going on over there.
Right.
And you don't know about the very, very right, just, and correct protesters.
Yes.
But it's just cool to say, Blizzard sucks, Hong Kong duck.
Yeah.
Not really great, but I understand them patrolling that, because once you can't have a conversation on Twitch just because people are just trolling you with pro Hong Kong statements, then I understand that. But all right, so that we set that up. Now, what is wrong with the garbage that these garbage people are made of? It's money. I know it's money.
Yeah,
I know it's money. But like Gillette can. There you go.
There's another.
Forget Harry's.
Yeah.
Gillette. They're the best a man can get.
Right.
Because a man doesn't just like to grill, or whatever that kind of commercial was.
Yes.
Like, I agree with the commercial, but I don't want my brands to be woke. Just sell me stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a calculated move. Why can't Blizzard make a calculated move? Now, I know that there are more Hearthstone, StarCraft, whatever their games are. In China, that's probably a bigger market than it is the U.S. But you're talking about the very few, the 0.001% of China that is in charge of all the rest of the people.
Yes. I mean, is it just a money thing? Is that why they're...
Well, the people in charge also control the economy, so they will say, no more Blizzard games in China, and then you lose that market. But I don't understand. I know they're so... Maybe it's not... Maybe it's not a company's job to create a revolution in a country, but maybe it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, isn't that... I mean, like, gold star, blue ribbon capitalists, isn't that their whole line? Is that commerce will level the playing field. The world is flat. Right? Mm-hmm. If we let them keep the world unflat, it's just going to stay unflat.
Yeah.
So you do this right now. You kowtow to the people who are oppressing, the Chinese government who's oppressing their people.
Yes.
They're going to let you keep hearthstoning for now.
Right.
But they're always going to be in control of it.
Yes.
But it's taken a long time, but China has let a lot of economic reforms and social reforms, although we're seeing that go backwards all over the globe right now, come into their country. What if you could be one of the pillars? What if you could look back and say, wow, the Pandaren saved us.
Right.
Like Hearthstone was the answer.
Right.
You never think that a video game could have brought us democracy, but I mean, it's pie in the sky. But at the same time, you don't lose your soul selling video games.
Right.
And the NBA.
The NBA is, I just, seriously.
That is It's criminal.
It is criminal.
It's not criminal.
Well,
it should be criminal. It's not criminal.
But China's put a lot of money into it.
But after all of their support of people like protesting like the national anthem, and maybe this is just counter programming. All money people, their only religion, their only government is money. But all that bullshit's going on in the NFL.
Yes.
And the NBA is like, kneel down.
Right.
Deliver the Star Spangled Banner, kneeling down.
Right.
We don't care.
Right.
Like 99% of our player base is African American. Like, we understand that this is an important issue.
Right.
Don't talk about China.
I know. It's just really, it's disheartening that this is happening. I feel like it's not just Blizzard and it's not just the NBA. It's upsetting that people, because of money, are siding with China, who is oppressing the Hong Kong people right now. It's really upsetting. And I don't know, like, is there anything that we can do as consumers besides, like, not support, like, the NBA, not support Blizzard?
I think that until you get banned from a Twitch chat, I think that you need to apply economic pressure, which is to say, maybe you're going to buy that jersey, don't buy that jersey. But then you're going to have to tweet at NBA, because if your money's just missing, they don't know why it's missing, but you have to tell them. Don't be an asshole about it.
Right.
You don't have to go and, on TV or on Twitter, burn your Nikes or whatever.
Right.
But just, vote with your wallet. But then you got to let people know, too. That is the new digital age second component of that, which is, I'm not going to do this. And also I need to tell somebody why. Mm-hmm. In the old days, like 20 years ago, not even that old, you write you get bad steaks. You get bad steaks from a steak company. Sure. You write a letter and you say, these steaks are terrible. I don't know what's going on, but I just can't be your customer anymore.
Right.
No, I don't know how their supply chain works or any of their operations, but they'll definitely mail you and go, well, we're sorry about that. Mm-hmm. And they treat every letter like 1,000 people have the same opinion, because 1 in every 1,000 people will write a letter. Mm-hmm. Now that the boomers are all old and are retired, maybe that's screwed now, because maybe just the writing letters all day long.
Right.
Oh, what are you up to, Granny? Oh, having a busy day. I've got 15 more letters to write to all these terrible companies.
Right.
And plus, that's all obliterated now by the constant, the inversion of the signal to noise ratio, with everybody tweeting Baba Booey at you like all day long.
Right.
But yeah, I think that for the people who run the social media accounts, they'll see that you're saying, this isn't cool,
Yeah.
Like, I understand that it's an economic concern, but now there's an economic concern because I can't support a company that would just sell out a people like this.
Right, right.
You're supposed to at least pretend like you care about people.
Exactly.
Please return to pretending to care.
Just have a kernel of decency. Just a little bit.
Speaking of kernels.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the colonel from KFC.
Uh-oh. What's going on there?
It's not a guy. They knew that guy was problematic, right?
Oh, they had
and
to.
So they turned him into RoboCop.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're like, my thing is, let's have a talking chicken or something. But they're like, listen, let me get to the end of this. We're going to double down on the racist plantation owner. Mm-hmm. But we're going to make him fun. And Reba McEntire is going to play him.
Yeah, right.
You're so crazy. I love it.
I know.
Get out of here.
I know.
Don Draper Jr. He definitely has some kid somewhere, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's Don Draper Jr.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
Don't listen to Polygon.
Oh, okay.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, about what?
On October 16th, they wrote an article that said, you might never see Studio Ghibli films on streaming services. Then, on October 17th,
I was going to say,
Variety
I know what you're talking
magazine publishes a story, Studio Ghibli films to stream on HBO Max.
Yes, I read that. I read that article.
Yeah, so I'd like to see a retraction there.
From Polygon, like a day later. Jeez.
Explain to our audience the difference between HBO, HBO Go, and HBO Max.
And HBO Now?
Oh my God!
There's, yes. Okay, so in order to have HBO, you need to have a cable service.
Sure.
If you have HBO Go, you need to have a cable service, and it's an extension of that.
Okay.
Which you can then watch their shows streaming live on a different device.
So that's the ability to take your cable subscription with you.
Yes, exactly. HBO Now is a streaming service only, and so you don't have to have like cable. So you don't have to have HBO cable, and it's about like $15-16, and like it has HBO shows, and I'm not sure if that actually has other stuff on it, but it's just like an additional service which you can purchase
with what, like Amazon or
I actually don't know how you purchase that one. I know more about HBO Max, which is their service that is coming out next year in the spring. And that is going to have HBO content as well as other content like the Ghibli films, and also HBO Max specific content. Like they're creating their own content.
Okay.
For that service.
And the pricing, I'm assuming, will be somewhat competitive to Apple Plus, Disney Plus.
I actually heard it's going to be similar to what their HBO Now is. So it's going to be like somewhere between $15 to $17, which is like, I don't know.
Kind of thing.
I don't know why it's not more comparable.
If you are the king of Cabletown, are you sharpening your spears for...
Probably, because I mean, I think HBO is trying to have it all.
Because if I had a cable package and I was paying, I like duck lovers. I didn't want to say. I wasn't going to say lover.
Yeah.
And whatever else, but I'm kind of here for like the HBO. I'm kind of here for like the movies.
Right.
Not the Game of Thrones anymore, but the Westworlds, the Watchmen's, what have you.
Yes.
I'd be like, well, I could drop this $100 a month cable package, pay $17 and get everything that I'm looking for with that stuff, and then I'll just buy Blu-rays of Duck Guys.
Sure.
Duck Gray Guys.
Right, exactly.
I should have called it Duck Gray Guys. Or Duck Geese Men, depending on what part of the country you're from.
Yes.
So that's all well and good. I guess options are good for the consumer, but if you're the cable company that has made your bones on trapping a person in a digital gulag.
Yes.
What now what?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like now you could get all of the HBO stuff on like a different service.
Yeah.
Now you're probably kind of mad.
Yeah. Cable is, I mean, like we've talked about how cable has been dying by 1,000 cuts, but this is like a cut across the neck.
Yeah, I think it is, because they used to be exclusively cable, and now they're like, well, how can we be competitive? How can we make more money? And
it's not TV; it's streaming service.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, HBO.
Oh, corporate ethics, so fun. Before we leave the China thing, I wanted to mention real fast that at least one person is holding up their principles as far as the Chinese market is concerned. Quentin Tarantino, who apparently has control over this, has refused to recut his film to be shown in China. The film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
So it probably will not be approved to be shown in China before violent elements. I think there's sexual elements. It's mostly violence. They have a violence thing.
Okay.
Which is fine. I'm not.
Do you think that they would be upset about the whole way how Bruce Lee was portrayed in the film?
That is an awesome question, and I have no answer to.
Okay.
Bruce Lee was a jerk.
I know.
And let's not mince words here.
We're not going to candy coat it.
So I'm not sure. I know that his family didn't like how he was portrayed.
No.
And I guess I didn't dig into it, but it might have been partially because he was a jerk and also because he got beat up by Brad Pitt. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, Brad Pitt isn't. He's not exactly Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or whatever.
No,
but
no.
Yeah. Anyway. So, and of course, it's not like Quentin Tarantino isn't really standing on principles. He's just like, no, F you. It's my movie. Like, it's just pride, basically.
Yeah.
And he's drunk with power.
Sure.
But, at least somebody's standing up to it.
Yeah, at least somebody is. I agree.
Yeah.
I wish more people were.
Bruce Lee's a jerk, though.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Yes.
Kind of a jerk. Let's talk about these streaming services.
Yes.
Disney Plus launch day is coming up.
Oh, yes.
And we will probably cover that. It's in about a month.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I know.
But a show on that network, Hawkeye,
Yes.
apparently cost Disney $200 million to produce.
Ooh, why? Why is it so expensive?
I don't know. It's a dude with a bow and also a girl with a bow.
Yeah.
And maybe a dog.
Right?
Who's eating that pizza that's made of gold or whatever.
Right.
Got the gold leaf on it.
Yeah.
Dog's got some expensive habits.
I guess so.
Do not go in his trailer. You do not want to go in there. A lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah, that's really surprising to me. Any hints as to why?
I think it's just, it's a lavish production.
Is it more expensive than some of the other Disney Plus shows?
Well,
I'm
sure. I don't know if we know exactly how much The Mandalorian costs, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that is going to be a lot.
Okay.
The first episode of that comes out on Tuesday, November 12th.
Yeah, launch day, right?
Yes.
For Disney Plus.
And I believe there will be another episode this Friday of that week as
okay.
well. Yeah. And so that's definitely expensive, but I think people, expect that.
Because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, I am surprised about that.
Be coming out
Hawkeye
weekly,
price.
of course.
Yeah.
Unlike, say, I think The Expanse you'll get to binge that, but
Sure.
Disney doesn't want you to binge their stuff.
Yep.
I'm sure somebody who helped make that decision was Kevin Feige,
Probably.
who has been promoted to the Chief Creative Officer of Marvel Studios.
Ooh.
So he is now the top creative guy over the entire franchise.
When did that happen? Just recently?
Just recently, this last week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. So he is now in charge of TV, animation, and film.
That's exciting.
And
Good for him.
publishing, technically, too.
Okay.
I still don't understand exactly how the comic book company overlaps with the film company.
Right.
So I think that he will, every year they have these big summits of Marvel Creative, and they go out to, I don't know, Vail or something like that.
Sure. Just
and,
have some ideas. And
and just decide what the horrible crossover is going to be for this year.
Right.
So he'll probably join them for a lunch one day.
Sure.
Over that weekend or that week that they do. I don't see him having a real firm hand on the comic side, but he will definitely be bringing the whole thing into order. So if you're Jeff Loeb, are you putting your stuff in a box?
I don't know.
I mean, he's not going to directly run TV. He needs somebody to do that.
Yeah.
But I think they have definitely clashed in the past over.
Have they?
Well, that's why all the
that makes
Marvel
sense.
TV shows will just never cross over with the movies at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if the new Disney Plus shows will have more of a connection.
I think that's why they did this. I think they want somebody, in charge of the whole thing.
I see.
And how does he interact now that he is going to be producing a Star Wars film? How is he going to interact with Kathleen Kennedy as far as that goes?
Right.
Is Kathleen Kennedy shopping for bespoke cardboard boxes now too? Do you think he's going to direct?
She's fine.
What he really wants to do is direct? He's going to direct this Star Wars movie?
I don't know. Has he directed a movie before?
I don't think so.
I guess I'd be a little concerned just because he's never directed anything before, but I mean, he has really great ideas and he's good at
I'm not saying he should.
Yeah. I guess I'd be a little hesitant about that, but I mean, he's a great ideas guy and he's good at, keeping everything straight and making sure continuity is there and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Here is a list of the titles that'll be available November 12th on Disney. I'm not going to read the whole list.
Oh,
but
right.
Suffice it to say, it starts with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Sure. Okay, so we're going to the very
The vault
beginning of the Disney.
Is open.
Yeah.
I don't see
catalog.
Song of the South on this list anywhere.
That does not surprise me. They're not going to be promoting that. They're
I can
not
see the
going
Sound
to
of
be...
Music, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is that Disney?
The Shaggy DA. I might get this just for all these Disney films that you can only see if you
Get Disney
buy
Plus.
their Blu-ray.
Yeah, well,
up to this point,
that's
I
true.
mean, we got
Yeah.
the Sword and the Stone.
Yeah.
We've got. I'm looking for the Black Cauldron. I see the Black Cauldron.
Oh, all right. Wow, this is a pretty extensive list.
Yeah, the Secret of Nim.
All right.
The Journey of Natty Gann.
I don't even know what that is.
Wasn't that that's Patton Oswalt's wife?
Is it?
Yeah, plays a street urchin who befriends a wolf and takes a cross country journey.
Wow.
In the 30s.
I didn't know.
Too
that.
young,
Okay.
too young, but you would
Yes.
have loved it.
All right.
The TV movie was already just about dead by the time that you were kicking around.
Yeah,
And everything else you can imagine,
Yeah.
from Lilo and Stitch to The Lion King 1.5 or whatever.
Right. Live action stuff.
Secret
I'm
Life
sure.
of Zack and Cody.
Sure.
A lot of their old
TV shows.
Disney network shows.
I know, like Lizzie McGuire. They're going to be making a new, like they're either doing a movie or they're doing a new series with what's her name? I can't think of her name.
And the world according to Jeff Goldblum.
Oh boy, because why not?
Careful.
Everybody loves Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Don't you think?
Huh?
Like Radar, Gaydar, Me Too Dar.
Wow.
Don't you think that? Like, don't you get a sense of a person who's like, oh, when that happens, I won't be surprised.
I guess.
Maybe he has totally respectfully been dating 25-year-olds his entire life.
Maybe he has. I don't know.
I suppose it's possible to do that.
It's possible.
Well, God bless you.
Yeah.
You weird man. Hulu has announced the cast for their Hellstrom series that, honestly, I was worried that this series was actually going to happen.
Okay, I don't know anything about it.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
He's Hellstrom. He's the son of Satan. He's a comic book from like the 70s.
Wait, was this the one that they were going to do
It's on Hulu.
with Ghost Rider, and then they decided no more Ghost Rider?
It wasn't with it. They were going to do a Ghost Rider, and
Yes.
then they went, well, why are we doing that?
Okay.
And I thought if they were willing to cancel Ghost Rider, they'd cancel Hellstrom.
Okay.
I wouldn't be
Okay, now I know what you're
surprised,
talking
Robbie Reyes, keep your phone on, because I think this would be a good show for him to show up on.
Sure.
Anyway, British actor Tom Austin will play Damien Hellstrom.
Okay.
I don't know him. Sydney Lemon will be also playing Anna Hellstrom.
Okay. I don't know who that
And
is either.
and a girl named Elizabeth Marvel.
Wow.
Now, at this point, you're just like, so what do you want your stage name to be?
Right, exactly.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I think Jean Grey is taken, so
I'll be Ms. Marvel.
how about
Yeah.
Liz Marvel?
Yeah, Liz Marvel. Sounds like Ms. Marvel.
That was the joke.
Okay, all right.
You identified the joke.
I got it. I found it.
I think that's pretty much it for Marvel news. Let's flip over to the DC side.
Okay.
Dwayne Johnson has said that Black Adam will begin filming.
Okay.
This is still going to happen.
Good.
This is probably the longest wait
Yes.
that I can imagine. Production begins July of next year.
Okay. So the second Shazam film, I'm guessing.
Or
is this a standalone film?
Yeah, this isn't Shazam 2.
Oh. Okay. Weird. Very strange.
Well, I mean, there's a whole prequel story, I guess, that you could tell.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just Black Adam on his own without Shazam.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
If you have questions, you can ask him.
I don't know how does this character operate without Shazam? I don't know.
He operated for thousands of years without Shazam.
All right.
They give you a
Okay.
little mini sort of intro in the Shazam movie. They talk about a figure who they don't name, and the guy, The Rock, has been signed for
A long time.
8 years for
It's
this
been a
thing or
long
whatever.
time.
So they could have just stuck his face in the CGI, but they didn't. And he is, like Billy, a recipient of the Shazam abilities.
Right.
Who, went wrong, basically.
Yes.
He was alive during the ancient Egypt times and, used his powers to be like a despot. And I don't know, the various things. He gets, imprisoned in the Rock of Eternity or something like that. And so he pops out every now and then to bother the Marvel family.
Sure.
But became a popular antihero in his own right.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
He's very in that great tradition of doubling up on stuff that really works. Except DC still doesn't have a spider guy. He's basically a Namor character,
Okay.
He's
sure.
an anti-hero with pointed ears and that solid wedge of black hair.
Sure.
Who doesn't, does his own thing, and he won't. Sometimes he acts good, sometimes he acts bad. He's in charge of his own country now, much like Namor is, and so he's a Namor type character.
Okay. Sounds good.
Really?
I don't know. It has the potential to be good.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's going on in the world of the Batman.
Oh, yes.
Big announcements. Looks like Zoe Kravitz has been cast as Catwoman.
Yep. Heard about that.
I am pretty indifferent about that.
Yep.
But that is what we've got.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Dano is going to play the Riddler.
Yep.
Also kind of indifferent about that. This would have been like really great for him. I mean, he's still out there doing stuff, right?
Yes.
But this is like the best casting news of like 2007.
Yeah.
Like this should have happened a while ago.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll be good. I just hope that they have a good direction for the character.
I do too.
And not just this is all we could think of, you know.
Yeah.
And then Jonah Hill will not be appearing in the Batman
Yes.
in an unspecified role. It was theorized that it would be the Penguin, but we don't know.
I heard Penguin or Riddler, and then like as soon as he was out of talks, it was like Paul Dano's the Riddler. Like was like right away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what's going on with that. We still don't have any real picture of the film as of yet.
No.
But we know that Robert Pattinson will be playing the Batman.
Yes. And then Jeffrey Wright is going to be playing Chief
Commissioner
Gordon.
Yes, yes. Did I said Commissioner, but maybe it's Lieutenant Gordon? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That would give us an
Commissioner,
idea of when
but-
it's set.
Yeah.
They got their work cut out for them over there
They do.
at DC.
Yeah.
We've got the fantabulous Harley Quinn coming out pretty
Yeah,
soon.
I know.
With Kathy Yan at the helm, and God knows how that'll fit into anything. So I'm praying for him
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Looks like Carnage, who's the villain in Venom 2, will be having a little company. They've added the character Shriek as a second villain in Venom 2.
All right. Okay.
Just kind of a Spider-Man villain,
Okay,
third tier
all
Spider-Man
right.
villain.
All right.
Didn't want to use. Just, this is how Marvel does it. Black Panther's first appearance, Civil War.
Right.
What does he have to do with Civil War?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
But there he is.
Yeah.
Then he goes off and he makes like the biggest movie of the year.
Right.
Just put Black Cat in this. Why is
know.
Black Cat in Venom? I don't know. Who
Why
cares?
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets good casting, and there's your Zoe Kravitz.
There you go.
Too late, we got her. Over on Marvel, what else is happening? It looks like The Matrix is ramping up. We're already looking at Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss coming back, ostensibly to play their old roles.
Yep.
Jada Pinkett Smith is in negotiations to return.
Okay.
And Neil Patrick Harris has landed a role.
I heard about that. That just seems like kind of odd casting to me. I mean, is he going to play the bad guy? Like, I was
thinking
the
about
bad
this.
guy, I think.
Yes, you could put him in like future suits. They never have collars. It's always or the collar just goes right up.
Yeah.
And there's no lapels on the collar.
Sure.
And then you put like a ascot around it with a jeweled pin or something like that, right?
Yeah.
A real Hellfire Club thing. I could see him looking natty in that, or I could see him going against type and being in like a ratty cable knit sweater.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of those Zion guys, first of all, they're not as white as Neil Patrick Harris, but they're all like real good looking. That rave that everybody complains about is full of like a bunch of hot Benetton models
Right.
just sweating on each other.
Right.
So maybe it's the whole, ooh, boy, he's like good looking, but oh, boy, he's got a crappy sweater. Some moths have been at that sweater.
Right. I guess I could see that too. Doogie Howser VR or something.
God.
Okay. All right.
I'll do the jokes.
All right.
I'll do the jokes. Yeah, so we'll have more information on that as that continues to fester,
Yeah.
develop, seems wrong. It's just one of those things like, I don't know, like the Dark Phoenix movie, like a lot of these superhero movies where you just go, can you not?
Can you
And
not
every
do
announcement
that?
is supposed to make us more excited, and instead it's just like, oh, man, another of the 7 cuts that are going to take me down.
Right. Right.
Just don't do it.
I know. Do you think this is going to be good at all?
I mean, it's everybody from the first. Well, I mean, it's. I guess only Lana's doing it.
Yeah, which I think is
So I mean, I don't know.
weird
1 out of
too.
2 is not bad, I guess. That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Keanu is as hot as he's ever been.
Yep.
Where do you go?
I don't.
Plus, the Matrix is the last gasp of what we thought of computing. You couldn't make that movie now. If you tried to make that movie now in the world of apps and social media, it would be called Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, right? Like you can't. That's terminals and like phone lines and CRT monitors. That was like the last thing you could do with that version of IBM computing.
Right.
And now it's all, they're going to have like iPhones that
I guess so.
hits an app and the guns come out or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be.
I can't. Why would it be any good? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
There's a lot more they can do these days than they could before.
That's true.
Totally virtual environments. Maybe it'll be a lot more. It'll take place in the computer, but it'll be less Australia standing in for a computer, and you'll be able to do cyber warfare or something like that.
That would be cool.
But I mean, you got to keep all the kung fu and stuff too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you just. This is because, I think they've talked about rebooting it, but if you reboot it, but you just use everybody from the first one and you just go, it's a literal reboot, like a computer. Like this is a new OS for the Matrix.
Right.
This is the Matrix 2.0, which is not, which was already old when Garbage named their second album that.
Right.
It all fits together. Let's talk about Netflix right before we go. The good news for Netflix is that there will be a Bone animated comic book epic on Netflix.
Okay.
A series based on Jeff Smith's long-running comic book, which itself, I believe Jeff Smith worked in animation. Okay. In addition to doing comics. I might have that wrong, but his comics, if you've read them, and we should read Bone someday, I guess we will when we cover the Netflix series. It's very funny, and it's very animation ready, and he's very good at timing a joke. Like when you read it, it reads kind of like flipping the pages, to make the little man dance.
Sure.
There's like, it just feels like a cartoon. So that will be on Netflix, and I'm sure they will water it down somehow. But I'm looking forward to that. I think that could be really good. And then the bad news coming out of Netflix. Although this is another one of those properties where every new announcement's like, oh no. So add this oh no to the pile. John Cho was severely injured on the set of the Cowboy Bebop shoot for Netflix.
I heard about that.
Yes, which was taking place in New Zealand. He was injured. We don't have any details as of yet, but he was injured in what they describe as a freak accident. I believe it was a knee injury.
Yes.
And it's going to require surgery.
Yeah, I heard
and production
about
is shutting down for 7 to 9 months.
She's
this is
crazy.
the whole thing. This isn't like he hurt his knee, which is always a big deal.
Yes.
But with the kind of money that Hollywood has, you think, okay, we can get you in to repair your meniscus or get some orthoscopic surgery. You will definitely be out, but you can rehab and recover, and we can shoot around certain things.
No.
They're done. Dark.
Yes.
Shipped him back to L.A.
Yes, I heard about that.
And he's going to need all 9 of these months to recover. So it's got to be big.
It has to be pretty huge.
Yeah. This is like an NFL level injury.
He tore something major, I think. Yeah.
So that is extremely bad news, and our hearts are with him.
Yeah. I heard it was for a fairly minor stunt or something.
Well,
like that.
okay. So all you get is, like, it comes from a press release, and then Deadline or whoever writes the story. So all you can do is just quote the story because you need to fill out the column. And so you say, it was a routine and well-rehearsed scene. It's like, that sounds like that came from the studio.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Right. What else are they going to say? Yeah.
So anyway, it's too bad. Although it's funny to think of John Cho in a hospital bed, wrapped head to toe in that mummy wrap.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Whenever Spike gets hurt on the show, he gets shot in the stomach, and then for some reason, like, he's wrapped up head to toe like a mummy, and then they stick the cigarette, in the slit that they cut for his mouth.
Sure.
And then see you, Space Cowboy.
Welcome to Virtual Theater. I'm Andy Spiteri.
And I'm Gooey Fame.
The day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
If you're a gamer, a movie buff, or both, you're going to want to check out our podcast on video game movies and the stories that shape them.
Luigi, it's a mushroom. Come on. Trust the fungus.
We let you decide which movies we cover via Twitter poll. So be sure to follow us on Twitter
at Virtual Theater X.
Right, you can hear him talking.
Yeah. Pika, pika, pika.
They can't understand me, kid.
And give us 2 thumbs up by subscribing on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The fate of billions will depend upon you. Sorry.
We are a part of the Just Enough Trope Network.
He's not the boogeyman. He's the guy you hire to kill the boogeyman. He's John Wick. Because I feel like his name gets said a lot.
Yeah.
I say his name as John Wick.
Yes.
The Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga.
In the series of films, John Wick.
Yeah.
3 films. 3 lovely, wonderful films. All written by, or essentially written by, a guy named Derek Kolstad. And directed by, help me, Chad Stahelski?
Okay, that sounds
I think
right.
that's probably right. Yeah. He co-directed the first John Wick along with David Leitch is his sort of partner.
Okay.
Who I think also directed like second unit stuff.
Okay.
Only Chad gets the title on the first one, but they are well known to be a team.
Okay.
Both stunt dudes. Stahelski specifically got his start working on like the Crow. Speaking of Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee's the Crow, and after Brandon Lee had his tragic accident on set, Stahelski doubled for him and helped complete the film that way.
Oh, okay.
And this is pretty much it. This is pretty much his only directing work. As far as Kolstad goes, this is pretty much his only writing work, although he will be writing on the Falcon and Winter Soldier series for Disney, and also he's writing the Just Cause film.
Oh my
so
God. How excited are you for that?
Not very much,
really?
Because we're going to talk about how much I don't like the John Wick movies and how badly written they are.
Okay.
Although, how much writing do you need in Just Cause?
Just Cause. Yeah, I know, right?
Just got take that, you pipeline jerks. Just give him the jacket from Drive and have him blow up some people who are slightly darker than he is.
Oh, man.
If they cast a white guy, I'll be mad.
Yeah.
Because he's Rico.
Yeah, right.
Yes. What happens in John Wick? And honestly, just give me, we're going to do all 3 films, right?
Yeah.
John Wick 1, John Wick Chapter 2, and John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Which all happen like within a week or 2 of each other.
At some point, and the thing of the third one, they go, this has been a weird few weeks. So I think anytime that they're not matching specific actions, like John Wick runs out of Central Park or wherever that he is, and you know that you're picking right up from there.
Right.
But anytime that there seems like maybe he got that dog and then took a week off or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's a week
That's
before
fair.
John Leguizamo shows up to check out his car, even though it's almost clearly not, because doesn't it start with him coming in his bloody suit and like feeding the dog, right?
I thought so.
Yeah. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So basically, at the beginning of the first film, John Wick has just lost his wife of some
Where'd she go?
mysterious illness.
Where did he leave her last?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
We don't know what it was.
It
Cancer,
was
maybe.
Yeah, she died of tragedy illness.
Yeah. And he's really torn up about that. Who wouldn't be? And then she, as a last gift to him, gives him this beagle named Daisy. And he's out driving with Daisy in his fast car that he loves. And the guy from Game of Thrones is like, nice car, how much? And he's like, it's not for sale.
It's like a 69 Mustang, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always preferred the Stingray myself.
So basically, this kid is a freaking idiot, and
he's mobbed up.
Yeah.
He's Russian mafia royalty.
He's the son of this one guy, and he they go to John Wick's house, and they beat up the dog. Like, they basically kill the dog, and they take his car, and that's what sets him off. And his father is like, you idiot, this is John Wick, he's the Baba Yaga, he used to work for us, and he's the guy you send to kill people who can't be killed.
With a pencil.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he killed 3 guys at a bar with a pencil. That's one of the big things.
Pencil bar.
Yeah, pencil bar.
It's a new place. Or maybe it was a bar with darts, Or, well, maybe it's one of those bars where they have like games, board games.
Sure.
And there was like a cribbage thing. And so there's a pencil so you can take down the score for cribbage.
There you go.
So that's even tougher because it's one of those golf pencils.
Oh, sure.
He killed 3 people with a pencil. Number 2, it was a golf pencil. Oh my God.
How did he do that?
I gotta get out of town.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, he's going to come after you. And so his dad tries to call John Wick and like tries to like talk him down.
And John Wick hangs up on him.
Which is a common thing in these films.
No telephone conversation ends normally in this film. It ends with somebody hanging up on somebody else.
Exactly. Just mid-conversation.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Because it's not the typical, right, yes, I'll see you there.
Yeah, exactly.
You too. I love you. Well, I mean, what? Yeah, people just hang up on each other.
Yes.
And then all hell breaks loose.
He just kills a whole bunch of people with kicking and guns.
Kicking and guns.
Mostly guns. So, yeah. That's pretty much the other 2 films.
There are going to be rays of sunshine in this that mostly come from us. And one, as we go through this, and one for me was, you got into that. You knew the name John Wick, but you didn't know anything about these movies going in.
No.
And so we got about like 8 minutes in before Alfie Allen kills a dog.
Yeah.
And he's gone around. He's gotten up at 6 a.m., drank some coffee, driven his car, and he's coming back home on that fateful night. And you're like, what's his job? What does he do? I'm like,
yeah.
This is, if you saw a screening, this would be, we got to make a cut. Because we should get, before anybody asks what his job is, 30 seconds later, he was going to break up a concrete floor and there's going to be a million guns in there.
Right.
Which I thought that scene was timed pretty good because you know that he is, I mean, if you just read you didn't and you weren't expected to, but like before I saw it, I read the synopsis and I'm like, oh, he's a hitman. So when he starts breaking up his floor, I'm like, his guns are in there. But if you have this magical world where you didn't see the trailer for T2, so you don't know that Arnold's the good guy or whatever.
Right.
You got to experience that world. And so that I thought that was a great bit of timing where, what's his name? The guy who plays the crime boss or whatever is Nyquist. He's a very famous actor who actually died, unfortunately.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, the last film was dedicated to him. He was a Swedish actor.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yes, he was in Ghost Protocol. But yeah, so as he's giving the thing, he's like, no, this is the guy. You don't even know about this guy.
Right.
And then like, hammer, hammer, hammer. And then by the time he says like, he's a killer. And then he opens the box and it's like, that's a bit of choreography.
It was
that's
well
a bit
done.
of storytelling.
Yes.
Which
guns and gold
continue
coins. Yes, I know.
In the rest of the film. Is there any other important story points that you want to give us about the first, second, or third films? Or can we just dig in here?
I think we can just dig in.
Really? What happens after he absolutely, totally, easily kills his prey? Because of course he would.
What happens after that?
Yeah.
Like in the first movie?
No, let's just treat him as one. I mean, that's clearly what the filmmakers want. They're all take place.
Oh, like after he kills Alfie or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, he continues to go after his dad.
That's a reboot.
Because he's like...
Alfie was a gigolo
right.
with a price on his head.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
He goes after his dad because he holds him responsible for his son.
I'll do it.
Oh.
So anyway, as soon as everybody seems to be surprised that he's back, he quit this life to be with his wife. So as the second film starts... this Eurotrash guy comes out of nowhere and says, well, if you're back, then
here's my
this
marker.
is back on. I have a marker, which is basically you owe me. I need you to do something. That thing is kill my sister so I can take her place at the high table, which we learn is the shadowy criminal organization that oversees the underbelly of this crime world and keeps the cops from showing up, I guess.
Because that's never really explored.
I think that I was talking about this while we were watching it. I was like, what if this was a period piece?
Yeah.
What if this was set in the 70s or something like that? I think that could be cool.
Yeah.
Because now one gunshot is heard in Lower Manhattan, and can John Wick shoot the entire National Guard in the face?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're supposed to suspend your disbelief and think that... I think that's kind of why that policeman character is there. I thought he was going to make a three-peat, but there's nowhere to put him in the third movie. But he shows up and he's like, hey, John, you working again? That's supposed to be a nod to the audience that, like, don't worry about the cops. They're not going to be a part of this film.
Right.
So anyway, so he ends up killing the sister in a roundabout way. Yes, but then, of course, the first rule of assassination, assassinate the assassin. And they start to come after John Wick. He doesn't like that. He kills the guy that hired him, but he does it on the grounds of the Continental Hotel, which is the sort of nominal central location in these films.
Ian McShane is the manager of, at least the one in New York.
And so that basically makes him excommunicated from the underground community.
Yes.
And because he's pissed off a lot of people and he is a guy who's left a lot of grudges unresolved, he is immediately a target himself.
Yep.
And then the third movie is a journey for him to get redemption, but kind of on his own terms. Mm-hmm. And the guy from Iron Chef shows up.
Yes.
It's weird. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the first movie.
Okay.
I don't really know the story behind this. I can only make assumptions. Clearly, the guys, Stahelski and Leach, are stunt guys. Mm-hmm. And so it's both a blessing and a curse, a compliment and a neg to say that these are films that seem like they were directed by stunt guys.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be like, this is what happens when you let stunt guys write and direct a film.
Sure.
It's just a guy kills a bunch of people.
It's a lot of guns.
There's the barest connective tissue of story and plot to hold them together. Mm-hmm. And I guess stunt guys don't write one-liners because maybe you think it's cool that John Wick is... Everybody else has to be a personality and our killer is like just faceless and doesn't talk, but that's not fun. It's fun that Arnold Schwarzenegger says, let off some steam.
Yeah.
John Wick's catchphrase seems to be, yeah. That's like his catchphrase.
I know.
People ask him questions. There are questions he can answer in the affirmative, and he goes, yeah. I don't know about that.
Very true.
So, like I said, I don't really know how they got this together, but it feels to me like the first movie is something of a real success story.
Yeah.
You've got like this untested director, untested writer. They get Keanu Reeves on board. It's like Summit Entertainment, and then I think the next two films were Lionsgate. So this is like we're in the lower tier of production here.
Well, and I think
the first movie only cost $20 or $30 million, and itself was a modest success. It made about $90 million, which is not a lot, but it's enough for a small film to keep going. And it's packed. They must have called in a lot of favors.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think that it's possible that having worked on so many films as stunt guys, they definitely had connections, and so they were able to call in. I mean, Willem Dafoe, Oscar-nominated actor. He never won, did he?
I don't know if
he's
ever
been nominated
won.
a million times. Like, definitely good, but also is one of those. He's like the white Samuel L. Jackson. Like, he'll do anything.
All right.
But still, good to have. John Leguizamo,
yes.
Clark Peters from The Wire shows up to just instantly get killed.
I know.
What's his name? The guy from Fringe. Can't remember the guy's name. Also from The Wire.
Yes.
David Patrick Kelly. Kevin Nash, Michael Nyquist, a lot of character actors, a lot of like high profile people who didn't have to do this. You could have easily been like, where was Batista when they were casting this thing?
I know, right?
I guess he didn't want to get shot in the face.
I guess not. Well, and then like Alfie from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I think we talked about how isn't his career done?
I guess
killed off first John Wick.
Yeah,
no way to bring him back.
No.
No more Game of Thrones, so we're not going to see this guy anymore. Probably.
Yeah, I guess not.
Too bad.
Yeah,
he's okay.
Ian McShane too, who we mentioned before.
Also a guy who will
do anything,
do just about anything, and complain all the way, but cash the check. This takes me back to the days of...
Did he complain about this?
No, I don't think he said anything about this.
Okay.
But at this point, he knows he's doing trash.
Okay.
I think that Samuel Jackson is realistic about what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's always treated himself like an actor, a craftsman, a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
Contractor.
Sure.
He's like, I know this is crap, but these people hired me to do a good job. I come in, I yell about snakes, and I go home.
Right.
And I leave it on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian McShane is like, it's just tits and dragons.
Yeah,
like he doesn't. I think he's just hammering checks at this point. He doesn't really care.
All right.
So it's impressive to have a list of actors like this, a cast like this.
Yeah.
I like Bridget Moynihan, but of course she's not really in it.
No, not really.
And it's got the chick from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
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 Anyway. Talk about the first film. What'd you think?
Well, I actually feel like I enjoyed the first film more than I thought I was going to. It was a lot of like just shooting people with guns and everything, but I thought, it was kind of entertaining. And man, when that dog died, I was so sad. But yeah, so I mean, I think that it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the films and the rest of the franchise. And like,
does it?
I feel like it does.
I think the first movie is I think it's the best. I think it's the best.
I do too.
I don't think it delivers the best moments, but I think it makes the most sense as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It has, it doesn't really have an ending because he should die, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have John Wick 4 if he
Right.
dies, but that's. I know that the whole point is like his wife wants him to live, but he kind of chooses to not.
Mm-hmm.
Going through all 8.5 hours of this series, it wasn't. They did address this in the third one. I guess we're talking about all of them. I was trying to break it up. Why doesn't he just take a bullet? Why doesn't he just eat a bullet?
Well, I think he says
His
it
wife
in the
wants
third
him.
one.
Yeah, but by the third one, they went, "Oh
Yeah.
shoot, we better like
Address this.
Why is he killing half the population of a small country?
Yeah.
When he was depressed.
Yeah.
And the point is like he wants to live and remember his wife, but it's like
Yes.
think of how many John Wicks you're making, or at least Jane Wicks.
Yeah.
You're killing so many fathers, sons, and husbands just to remember your wife, who will never
Yes.
have any backstory on.
No.
way that's interesting.
I know, right?
But apparently it was so special that you're going to remember these 5 years you had with her by murdering half of Manhattan.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. And then like in the third one, it's like he wants to be on excommunicado, so then it's like he has to prove it to this guy. Did we ever come up with like what was the guy's name who was like above the high table? I can't even remember.
It was Bronn from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, okay. And he had to like prove to him that like he's going to serve and stuff like that. So then he cut his own like ring finger off.
Yes.
And like
See, this is why this is just going to be invective spewed from me. This is why I wanted to wait, because
Okay.
I'm just going to shit
okay.
all over the third film.
All right.
I too have played and enjoy the Assassin's Creed games. At this point, when the Assassin's Creed movie dropped the ball, it was game on, right? There's hitmen and there's assassins,
Yeah.
And so he's like a hitman, and I guess the Russian mafia is cool because we've got a Swedish guy that can pretend to be Russian, so let's do that. Although his kid is just a British kid who's got an American accent.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. But then once the Assassin's Creed movie dropped the ball, it's like, well, then I guess we can just do that.
Yeah.
Because it's all historical stuff that you can't really. There was an Ali Hassan, and like there are these legends about the hash eaters and where the assassins come from. But as soon as
Sure.
Bronn starts going into that speech, I'm like,
About where the assassins
come on,
come
you
from.
guys! If you ran out of ideas, then why'd you make a third movie? You're just doing.
Yeah.
He even cuts off his finger like the assassins.
Yeah.
And the biggest, screw it. Let's not even break the movies down individually. I'm throwing my notes away. The biggest shame, the biggest missed opportunity of these films is we never get a real picture of this world. When I saw the first John Wick movie, I was like, wow, you guys really like digital muzzle flash and blood sprays. But, okay, I guess some interesting choreography and some interesting sort of, fight sequences. But I wanted to know more about the coins. I wanted to know more
Sure.
about the hotel and the suggestion of this underworld, this secret society. Like, is it all criminals, or are they all hitmen or whatever? I got what I wanted,
Yeah.
and I was unhappy. You can get what you want and be unhappy.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, right.
Because I got exactly that, and the answer was nothing. There is nothing. There's just shadowy bad guys who, aren't going to be seen. I'm sure they'll be seen in the fourth movie. It's kind of exactly what you think. There's just a bunch of people. Remember how we talked about how in American Gods we got tired of every time a new character shows up, they have to establish themselves. Everybody is a chief and nobody's like a Indian. That's not very good. Everybody's a general, nobody's a foot soldier.
Yeah.
So every time, because they're all gods. So every time you meet somebody, it's like, well, Mr. Nancy, I ain't seen you since the Battle of the Bulge in 1944. You know, everything has to be like that. In this, we've got a couple things like that. First of all, every interaction on the phone ends with somebody hanging up on somebody else.
Yes.
Every interaction with John ends up with him saying their name and going, Lucy, or whatever, and then just walking off.
Right.
But every character has a similar thing in this, where they're like, John Wick, well, I thought you was out of the game, but now you're back in the game. And once you're in the game, you can't get out of the game unless you're on top of the game. And I've got a pigeon. It's like, what?
Yeah, I know.
It's all, everybody is as empty as the bag of air that I filled up with the breath of Lawrence Fishburne, who is definitely told to do whatever he wants in this film.
Yeah.
Is that a joke? Are they doing a Matrix reunion? Because the real Matrix reunion is him and Randall Duck Kim. The doctor who appears in the first and third one is the keymaker from Matrix Reloaded.
Okay. Very
Gotcha.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and then like in the third film, we were talking about while we were watching it, like the doctor's like, you better shoot me and make it look good, and then he's like, oh, one shot might not be enough, and then like so John shoots him more or less.
It's all academic. I know where you're going with this. It's all academic because why wasn't he shot in the face then?
Right.
John Wick doesn't miss.
John Wick shoots to kill.
John Wick wouldn't shoot a guy in his two non-fatal places.
Right.
There's definitely a cut scene where that doctor is just being like hung upside down a dog pit because of he totally helped John Wick.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just totally empty. There's nothing there. Clearly, when they started writing, they didn't know that Baba Yaga was a girl, right? Because
even though you look up Baba Yaga, it talks about how she's a witch. She's a female witch.
Right. And there are no women in these movies, or at least none of any import. So, right? Like, clearly, by the third movie, somebody went, oh, dude, I looked up Baba Yaga. It's a girl. She's a girl.
Right?
And she rides in a pestle or something, mortar and pestle. Yeah. So we got to add some girls to the third one. So we look like, this isn't like this like huge sword fighting fest. So they get Angelica Houston, which is all right, but she's not in it for very long.
No.
And why is Halle Berry in the third one?
Off too. Yeah, I don't know why Halle Berry's there, honestly. She doesn't really add anything to the film.
She adds nothing.
She has two dogs, and one of her dogs gets shot by her boss.
Yeah, and they've got dog armor. Yeah. We saw her put the dog armor on.
Yes.
So why is it a big deal?
Because he shot her freaking dog.
Right. And so she goes nuts and kills everybody.
And
all assassins
Keanu
have dogs.
Is all like, I get
and
it.
you mess with them.
Yeah.
That's so dumb, though.
I know.
That's as dumb as, what do you need? Guns. Lots of guns. Yes, I too have seen and enjoyed The Matrix.
Yeah.
What do you... this movie has nothing original to say. It brings nothing to the world except... some people, it's not a good movie, but a lot of people remember Equilibrium fondly for its mix of physical combat and gunplay, the gun fu. Yeah. And I can't remember that guy's name, but he's probably trying to file a suit in federal court to these guys for stealing his mixing of physical combat and kung fu and guns, which is kind of what this does.
It is.
But it's not... This is, if you are a director, you have a character. That character has a story and a journey that he's on. And then you look for places you can put kung fu kicks in.
Sure.
If you are a stuntman, you go, this 20 minutes of the movie will be kung fu kicks.
Right.
And you go, but what are we learning? We're learning that John Wick is not a very good assassin because he has a chance to blow Alfie away in the hot tub or whatever.
Yeah.
And where was that club? Wasn't that club in the basement of the Continental? I thought they couldn't fight on the Continental grounds. Maybe it was somewhere else.
I think it was somewhere else.
Anyway,
I think it was
he
his
blows
dad's
a
club.
hit on Alfie Allen. Now, I know the movie would be over if he succeeded, but then 25 minutes later, he succeeds with no fanfare. And I know that they haven't built that character up at all, but this is another problem with me and the series is that there are no, until we get to Iron Chef, nephew of Iron Chef, there are no antagonists who challenge John Wick in every way. Everyone is terrified of him. The only good thing they do with it is Michael Nyqvist basically is just like, I'm going to die, so I'm going to have some fun. And like, he basically is just losing his mind because he knows that John Wick is going to kill him. Like, that was okay. But everybody else, every time somebody steps up to John Wick, my heart sank because I knew it was going to be, he's just going to kill some lieutenant that we could have a fun fight with.
Right.
But instead he just offs him. And if they're the very last one, it goes on for another minute, but he basically just offs him. So like Ruby Rose, the whole movie, and let's not make sure she doesn't talk because we don't want to hear a woman talk.
I know.
The whole movie seems like she's going to be a badass. She has a little fight with John Wick, and he's breathing heavy, I guess, after he stabbed her in the heart. So
I know. I
don't want to see more of Common, but Common's in it and goes out like a bitch. Like,
I know.
It's just dour. It's not that I care really about the blood violence, but it's just so bloody and violent and people's heads blowing off and who cares?
I know.
I know he's going to win everything. He's never going to run out of bullets.
Right.
Something else about the stunt aspect of it. Sure, some of the moves and like choreography is cool, but like I stopped watching him after a while and I started watching the people that he's fighting. Mm-hmm. And they do that thing where they take a swing, he punches them, then they sit and look at him and wait for him to shoot them or kick them or do something else.
Which is not great.
Yeah, it isn't until the third one where they start doing like he's fighting the ninja guys.
Yes.
That they start to fill in those gaps and we get some pretty good kung fu fights in there.
Yeah.
Like the knife scene was good.
Uh-huh.
And like that's what I wanted out of all the films.
Sure.
But instead they literally, I know they play it as a joke and I'm like, that's not the joke, that's the problem. Like where he hits a guy, click, he's out of bullets, he reloads and shoots the guy and the guy just stands there the entire time. It's like, thank you for shooting me, Mr. Wick.
I know, right?
Like,
it's
why is that tense?
Why would he just wait for that?
Because we've got to see him shoot another man in the face.
I know. And one other thing I was disappointed by, in the second film, Lawrence Fishburne gives him a gun and he gives him 7 bullets.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to see him judiciously use them and like really like make decisions like who's gonna go, who am I gonna shoot where. No, it was just a way for him to get into the fight, and then he shot some guys, so he picks up their guns, and he has got endless bullets.
Right, and he's going into, like, the museum,
yes.
because for some reason this, Captain Eurotrash is
likes
at a
hanging
museum.
out at the museum.
He's got the museum is his base or whatever.
Yeah.
And so up to the point that he starts firing, he has snuck in. He has choked guys. He has knocked guys out.
Yeah.
And I was expecting the same thing. It's like an Indiana Jones movie or a James Bond movie where he pops the clip and he's like, only 7 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's going to do some more kicking or he's going to steal a gun or he's going to line 2 guys up so he shoots and it goes through 2 guys' heads or something like that. Or he ricochets it off of something.
Yeah.
No, he just immediately unloads 7 bullets, then takes somebody else's gun.
Exactly. It was so disappointing.
Uncreative.
It was like, why did he even need to have a gun in the first place? Like, he could have just walked in.
That's his thing.
I guess.
Until he belt fights 2 ninjas in the third one. Which, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But Baba Yaga's a girl, man.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have anything else to say? There's a scene in the first one where he kills, because he has a sniper rifle now, because that's something else he can do. He kills Alfie's friend, and the kid's playing Killzone, or some first person shooter game.
Yeah.
And there's a suggestion of something kind of funny there, which is like Alfie Allen has already survived. He's not like a stone cold killer. He's just a punk, but he's already survived like 3 gigantic, bullet laden shootouts, Mm-hmm. So he's definitely like, if I ever hear another gun go off again, it'll be too soon.
Right.
And then his friend is playing this. Like, that was what they were trying to do, but I think they were also trying to be like, yeah, it's like guns, right? These guys, they play fake guns. John Wick plays with real guns.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. I just didn't.
I know.
We can't be done already. You want to hear my big theory?
Sure.
Cut out the second movie. No second movie.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I'm with you. Yeah.
Either have him kill Michael Nyquist or Alfie Allen last. That's instead of ending at this, we got to get to the helicopter or whatever. Whatever. I like how he doesn't kill the one guy, Mr. Mayhem from the from the commercials.
Yeah.
The whole time is like the one guy that we kind of like identify with, because he's like, English, please. I go, who is this guy?
Right.
And then at the very end, he's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to kill John Wick. Give me a gun. And he almost shoots John Wick, and he's like, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And then he gets hit by a car. So John Wick doesn't actually kill him. But instead of having this end at this helicopter we never see, have it end, because they couldn't afford a helicopter.
Right.
Have it end like the second one, or no, actually like the third one begins, which is John Wick kills the guy finally, but he goes too far, and the guy has his hand on the
Continental.
the doorstep of the Continental. So technically he has, John Wick has violated the thing.
Yeah.
He's justified to kill all these guys for killing his dog, but because of these dumb rules, because the whole thing is John Wick doesn't care about your rules. He's going to live his own life.
Right.
We see that in the third movie because he goes all the way to the top and goes, yes, I'll do all this. But he just wants a gun so then he can go back and do whatever he wants to do.
Right.
So you have us see that in my fake version of the movie. So the end of the first movie, he kills Alfie Allen. He's got his hand on the thing. And then Mr. Wire is like, ooh, sorry about that. That's not great.
Right.
So we skip the entire second movie. Forget it. Because it's no good anyway.
Right.
Gone. Forget the guy with his sister or whatever who kills herself. And then John also shoots her in the face.
I know.
I don't understand.
I know.
And then we skip right to... So the third movie is the second movie.
Uh-huh.
So the third movie is he goes to meet, with the goddess or whatever, or meet with the guy in the desert.
Yeah.
That gets the thing and you think, okay, John Wick is a new man. He's going to be... He has served. He will serve. He's part of this thing again. Then presto changeo, no, he's not. And he's going to still do what he wants. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the second movie, he gets what he wants, but now he's in the sewer with Morpheus.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you mad, John? Yeah.
Right.
And then third movie is whatever you want it to be. Nice trilogy.
Yeah.
But they just had a success. They're like, another one? Sure. And they just kind of putzed out a second one.
Yeah. That one was not. I think you're right.
What was that character's name?
The weakest one.
What was Eurotrash's name?
I don't remember. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
So.
And he's eating. There's a big speech at the end about he's eating in the restaurant. And he's like, "Oh, you have to try the food here." And you look at the food, and I know it's a movie, but it looked like the limpest plate of steak frites I've ever seen. Like the steak looked awful. The fries were clearly, cold. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's like the Harry Potter of murder.
John Wick.
A gun is his wand.
Yeah.
Harry Potter goes through films. He's never really challenged by anything. All the characters in the films give him everything he needs to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. More or less.
The biggest setback he has is, Cedric Diggory dies.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
You got anything else to say?
I
like how he gets a non-pussy dog at the end of the first one. He's also a dog thief. He just takes that dog from the vet.
I know. And then he never gives that dog a name.
Why did they pump the first movie full of sort of, what do you call it, Marilyn Manson-esque
I don't know.
music?
Yeah.
They're doing Killing Strangers or whatever, and then that's gone. It's just generic score in the second two.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like they had money to spend on it for the first film or something like that. I don't know. I don't know why it's like generic after that. It's weird. It's a weird choice.
They go through all the trouble of setting up, again, some great casting, like in the second one. Franco Nero's in the second one. Like, why is he doing this?
I don't know.
Peter Serafinowicz is in it.
Mm-hmm.
You got that cute scene of him like loading up all the guns and stuff.
Right.
And then it doesn't matter because he's just going to kill a bunch of people in
a
catacomb or something like that.
Right.
Why did I write Steve Hitjobs? Oh, because he's got a turtleneck.
Oh, that's right.
When he goes to
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah. The second he sits down with Franco Nero, he's like, "Are you here to kill the Pope?"
Right.
And he's like, "No." First of all, good to know. Why did he ask that?
I think he had to make sure that he wasn't there to kill the Pope.
But why?
Maybe he's religious or something.
Maybe the
I don't know.
filmmakers are anti-religious or something?
I don't know.
Are people coming to kill the Pope a lot?
I don't know.
Because, like, that'd be John Wick 4, he tries to kill the Pope.
Yeah.
And he goes up against the Swiss Guard.
Right.
And it's not a bunch of guys in pantaloons. Like, they are all John Wicks.
Right. That'd be interesting.
Would it? Because they all have bulletproof suits. Why'd they give him a
Yeah,
bulletproof
I know.
suit? There's no threat.
I don't know. I know.
He literally, people unload on him in the films, and he's fine.
Yeah. I know.
Look, I'm disgusted too, but at least say something.
I don't know. He gets like shot sometimes, but like then he's like, "Here, suit me up, doc," or whatever.
He has to
and,
do
like,
a job, like kill this sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a mark, I guess. But also, I just imagine that if it wasn't a marker, like he was just doing that for hire, and he's going to get, what is it? They offer a coin or 2 coins to kill him in the first movie. Mm-hmm. I assume it's a coin to kill somebody, right?
Yeah.
So
like that.
Adrienne Palicki is going to kill him. She's going to get double to break the rules of the Continental, although we find out that double is not enough. If you're excommunicado,
Right.
you better start working at Cinnabon. Like, you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, she's going to get 2. So imagine if 2 is the amount of coins you spend to kill someone.
Uh-huh.
He spends like a dozen coins just getting outfitted in the second one
I know.
to kill a lady who kills herself before he can.
I know. And he gets all
How
his
does the
guns,
economy
too.
of this work?
I don't know.
If it cost you $50,000 to get to work, it doesn't matter how much you make.
Yeah.
Make hourly.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Ah! Anything else?
The gold coins don't really make sense because it's like, here's 1 gold coin for me to stay a couple of nights in this hotel. And then like, I don't know. It's just like, it's like, here's a gold coin for making my suit. Here's a gold coin for giving me guns. Like, what does it, what does it equate to? Like, I don't think they really sat down and they really figured it out and they made the math work or anything like that. They're like,
No, they don't know.
no, they don't know. They're just like, have it be 1 gold coin.
I
Have
feel
it
like
be
it'd be
2.
pretty easy to know.
Yeah, I feel like it would be too.
I feel like you could like just sketch something out.
Yeah, and I feel like that's...
And don't send me to the comic book or whatever. I don't care.
Right. But like, I think that if they had figured that out, it would have made the world seem more real, you know?
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have him just shooting people in the face. Like I watched the YouTube videos of Keanu Reeves doing like tactical training for the films, you know? So he's out in the desert at one of these ranges that has the, they do it on the Righteous Gemstones too, but it's got the pink man targets, or it's got, you know, paper targets, or you shoot a bucket or something like that. And it's fascinating. He's clearly very good at this. I was joking with Gooey about how just the next Keanu Reeves film has to be a story about how he's making the Lake House 2 and terrorists try to kidnap Sandra Bullock, and Keanu Reeves, the actor, has to kill a bunch of terrorists using the skills that he's learned in these films.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
But
yeah,
those YouTube videos are so much more interesting to me, and they deliver the exact same thing that these films do in, 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Yeah. I wish it was better, honestly.
Did you like the beginning of the second movie? I liked that. I wish that they could have fit that into the first movie. He gets his car back.
Yeah.
But then it is destroyed.
Yeah.
In this long running fight of people trying to kill him, when they could shoot him in the face, but they keep running up to him or trying to hit the back of his car with their taxis.
Yeah, I know.
Peter Stormare appears for like 2 seconds. No, don't leave. Fun and interesting character actor. I mean, I know you're just going to get shot in the face, but...
I mean, yeah, like...
A drink costs a gold coin?
I know, right?
Drink it slow. That's a human life.
Right? I mean, his car gets completely totaled, and then he wants John Leguizamo to, like, fix it. And John Leguizamo's like, yeah, I could probably fix this. It's
if I show up in the future, but I won't ever show up again.
Right.
Also, if on the leaderboard, so when we cut to the 50s diner where people keep the records of... And I love how everybody is dressed like the girl on the menu of a 50s diner with the sleeve tats and the fringe and the horn rimmed glasses. right.
pink shirt.
And they're
button
all
up.
22-year-olds.
Yeah.
But then the old lady who runs it also has to wear that outfit.
Yeah.
Now, that was both ridiculous and the kind of interesting continuity that I want more information about. Like, are you just forced to, before this, you were kind of like a hippie chick, but I got a new job. They're making me get a haircut.
And I have
a
to
lot
get
of tattoos. And then I have to wear a sleeveless pink blouse.
Yeah.
And I've had this job for 50 years now. And so now I'm an old lady with like saggy arm tattoos. I wanted to know more about that, but this movie couldn't be bothered. So
No.
I don't think I can be either.
And then they had a guy who was the administrator who was apparently in charge of it all, or whatever.
Yeah, and then there is a man that is in charge of them,
which is kind of disappointing.
Of course there is.
Yeah. Couldn't it have just been an all-lady thing?
I do honestly think that they are dumbly trying. I think putting Halle Berry in a subplot that gives you one of the best action sequences, but has nothing to do with anything. We never learn their history. It doesn't apply in any way. And she doesn't even get shot in the face like you'd expect.
No.
But having her in there, I think, is a good move. Also having Asia Kate Dillon, casting them, good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Them having no real effect, development, and playing anything other than just that person, the sort of like, weaselly person who is the factotum of the people that we haven't seen still.
Yeah, yeah.
And just sitting in a room during the climax.
Oh my god!
What if Asia had like mad MMA skills? What if they came down and were part of the fight?
Right. I know.
Also, not a great performer.
No.
No. Not a real good actor.
It's
you've got
too
like
bad.
to think of who you're up against though. You've got like Lawrence Fishburne. You've got like Ian McShane. Even Keanu Reeves in a way. And then they walk on screen and it's like the high table's very mad at you. Just like weird delivery, weird. Yeah, maybe not the movie for you, but
yeah.
But I mean, casting somebody who is like non-binary and was, on Orange Is the New Black or whatever, I clearly think that they know there's a problem. They know that there is a representation problem. But
yeah, and they were trying to make it work.
It's like an old thing in these movies. Like the lady assassin comes out and it's like, whoa, well, this is I'll try to go easy on you. Oh, she whips her bra off and it's got razors on it, like the Peaky Blinders.
Or
the
like
titty blinders.
Wow. Her briefcase turns into a gun or something like that. I don't
Your
know.
compact is a bomb.
Right.
These are bad ideas.
I know.
These definitely got shot down in the writer's room.
Yeah, but something, like why is she just sitting in a room at the Continental while there's a freaking huge shootout at the Continental?
Because her team of bad guys who went, I got an idea, body armor.
Yeah, right.
Everybody put on your rollerball costumes.
I know.
We got it.
Oh, but
so
wait.
to combat that, they go get shotguns. That's not how you get through armor. And they go, oh, they're armor-piercing slugs, steel slugs. That's not really a thing.
No.
You would just get a rifle with like Full Metal Jacket rounds. Like he shoots a rifle all the time.
Yeah.
But they just wanted to, we've never done shotguns.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the time to do shotguns.
No.
Shoot a shotgun at a motorcycle, like a plain old motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
The guy inside will probably be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But not a John Wick shotgun.
Right. Well, and I felt like with a lot of the armor, they were trying to go for like the neck too, like where it was maybe
was this a previous show or were we talking about this off the air? They make gorgets.
Yeah.
They make things that you can put on your neck so you don't get shot in the neck.
What were we watching where they were shooting somebody else in the neck?
I don't know.
It was something else recently.
I don't know. All I see is John Wick now.
I don't remember if it was
visions
El Camino
of gold coins in my head. It was Gemini Man. And I think Gemini Man was trying to do John Wick.
Oh, okay.
Because they've got this, he also shoots a lot of people in the face.
Yes.
And they've got a character who can't be shot in the face.
Yes.
But it's like, yeah, but we just killed a lot of other people who couldn't be shot in the face by shooting them in the neck.
Exactly.
And Will Smith's neck is 18 inches long.
Fair.
I saw, I don't love them, but I sometimes watch the VFX guys react, the Corridor Crew or whatever on YouTube. They're okay. They're fine. I just wish there's no women are in digital effects.
Okay.
But they were talking specifically about Gemini Man, and they had some good things to say, mostly because, spoiler, Will Smith shows up at the end of the video, so what are they going to shit on it?
Yeah.
But they talk about the problem, and the problem is a couple things. Is that actually the big problem is they always make a person's upper lip move. One of the guys pointed this out when they do digital faces, and the thing is that people's upper lips don't move.
They don't really move that much.
They're all British. Specifically, there isn't like muscles that move your upper lip. Like it moves when your mouth makes other sounds.
Sure.
But they always have and they zoom in on Gemini Man and they show there's one part where he says something and his upper lip goes, and it's like, that's not what upper lips do.
No, no wonder it's a little uncanny valley.
There's other things too.
Yeah.
But they also talk about some of the amazing things they did to make it more realistic.
Oh.
And they didn't work.
Oh.
But yeah, we keep inventing new things, and
Yes.
the brain is way ahead of those things because we
Right.
know what a face looks like.
Yes.
Last thoughts. I can't believe we haven't mentioned Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh yeah, Jason Mantzoukas is in the very last film, and he's wasted. I think.
It's garbage.
Yeah, like he's not used really that well.
They just said we have a little extra money. We need a guy that looks like a homeless guy.
Right.
Let's get a famous guy that looks like a homeless guy.
A homeless guy. Yeah.
There's one name in that right now.
Yeah, right. Jason Mantzoukas. I wish these films were better.
Yeah. He starts running.
yeah.
It's New York.
Right.
It's New York. Mm-hmm. I kept screaming, hail a cab. He hails a cab.
Eventually. And then he gets stuck in traffic.
And this is like, if you track the time, this must be, 8 or 9 at night. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you'd be locked up bumper to bumper, but I don't know, probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody's fleeing the city because a maniac is killing people.
Right.
And then, of course, I also don't know how this economy would work since every single person on Earth is an assassin.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Sure.
The busker.
It makes it seem... The busker. I know. I've got a knife in my violin. I'm going to kill you in public. You can't get away with shooting somebody in the face in Grand Central Station just because you've got a silencer.
No.
I don't think it's going to work. Mm-mm. Oh, we didn't talk about Iron Chef either. But yeah. But I know it adds tension. But it adds tension if you do it a little bit. Not if every single human being you meet is all in on it.
Right.
And the cabbie is too.
Right.
Because of course he is.
So
then I'm like, steal a car.
Right.
This whole series, you've just been driving cars everywhere. Mm-hmm. Steal a car.
I know.
No, we had an idea for a horse that chase that becomes a motorcycle chase.
Yep.
And Mattress Firm is in on it.
Yeah, right.
That's who the high table is Mattress Firm. It's all a conspiracy. We're going to find out.
Oh, my goodness.
4th movie.
Oh, man. Do you want to talk about Iron Chef a little bit before we're done?
I've always liked him. I always thought that he got kind of a raw deal. He was in the Crow TV show, right? Mm. He's always gotten, I don't know what it is. He's been a martial arts actor and stunt actor for a long time. Mm-hmm. He's a weird pick for this.
Yeah.
You definitely probably asked Jet Li or somebody like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is the kind of budget pick you get for a Lionsgate film. But I'm glad that he got the chance because he's never had like a high profile
big villain
thing like this.
Sort of thing.
I like the fact that he's old. The character was clearly written as somebody who's supposed to be like, I'm a young upstart, Oh, I've heard legends about the John Wick,
Right.
John Wick's the guy who's like, does his job, he's professional, he's older, he's got decorum, and this is the guy who's like, man, effing John Wick, dude. But instead it's like a wrinkled faced, like 55-year-old man doing that.
Yeah.
Which is a little strange.
Yeah.
And that character kept jumping in between like, sayonara, I am a respectful assassin, to like, whoa, dude, you're John Wick.
Right,
but
right.
Mark Dacascos took that and made it like the character's sort of unstable, unhinged sort of neatness. Mm-hmm. How a guy like that can run a sushi shop, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But yeah, he was probably the best part of the film.
Yeah, I think so too. He had a cat that we saw for a little bit at the sushi restaurant.
Yeah, well, of course, he has to be a cat guy because John Wick's a dog guy.
Yeah, I know. Nice job there, movie.
Yeah. Didn't you say at one point, like, he's fighting the ninjas And it's like, wait, isn't he the Baba Yaga? Isn't he sneaky? And then he like remembers he's sneaky. So then like the ninja is sneaking around on him, but then now he's sneaking around on the ninja.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is he a ninja now? And you're like, well, you kill a ninja, you get their powers. That's how it works. So he definitely did that at one point. I also like the fact that he fights those two guys. And even though we go through like things about honor and chopping your fingers off, but they all just kind of agree, we're all good, right? We took this as far as it could go, right?
Right.
And they're like, all right, you pass.
Right.
And he's like, all right, fine, I'm not going to kill you guys.
Right.
Those are like the only two people in the movies that he doesn't kill.
I know. He's just like, they both are kind of like,
pretty good.
Pretend to.
Well, yeah, that was weird. I don't know
Like
if
they pretend to be dead or something?
Yeah, because before he walks up, they're in frame, and I don't think that they knew they were in frame, maybe, because they're kind of going like, oh, is my head up, or I'm looking at him, but I'm going to put my head back down. Just pretend you're asleep. Just pretend you're asleep.
Yeah.
And then he comes up to them, and the moment we have is them kind of going, we're just going to show that we are,
we're
you
done.
advance beyond to the final boss.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, oh, it's a good fight. Yeah.
His catchphrase. What happened to the art of the one-liner? Why
I don't know.
Not here?
It's not going to come back in a movie that says, let's put a little music on for this classical kill fest. And they play Vivaldi. Wow,
know.
deep cut.
I know. It's like, come on, guys.
Say one good thing right now.
Did
you like the fight in Dan Aykroyd's rumpus room? With all the crystal skulls?
With all the crystal skulls.
No, like say one good thing.
Oh boy. I guess I liked the fights in the first movie a lot. And when he's like going through the club and he's just killing guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked that he got another dog.
Okay. All right. He did get another dog.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a name.
No, I know.
Not a very good owner.
Yeah, I know.
He feeds him once.
I know.
How do we let him get away with this?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I love dogs. What kind of dog you have? Well, I mean, I don't have a dog right now, but like, my brother does, and he loves me. I mean, he lets me pet him all the time. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Oh, what's one good thing for you?
Oh no, haven't I said good things?
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know. I can't say that I don't have one. I like I said, I think I like the idea of this world, and I don't think I'm going to see the fourth one because I've learned you just can't.
It's not going to get any better.
You can't wait for them to pay it off.
Yeah.
It's very rare that Mission Impossible is like the exception to the rule. Like that's the thing that if you stuck with it, they're bad, then they're okay again, then they're like pretty good.
Yeah.
Now they kind of suck again.
Right.
So what was the point of sticking around?
Yeah, but there's going to be more of them, so...
Yeah, I honestly can't think of one good thing that is my favorite part.
I know. I was
the lady in the subway.
I was going to mention...
The violin killer.
Yeah, right?
If she's got all these gold coins, what is she busking for?
Good freaking point.
That's her cover.
Right?
What does she work for? What are you talking about?
I know.
None of it makes any sense.
I know.
Wrap it up. Would you recommend?
I would recommend the first one, I think.
Yeah,
and then I would not recommend the second or the third.
But there's so much promise. You'll be chomping at the bit after seeing the first one to learn that there's two more. And now a third coming out in 2021.
Yeah, I would just say...
Why so long?
I don't know.
Aren't these easy to make?
Yeah. I would just say the first one's the best, so just stick with that. If you're dying for more, see the others, but at your own risk.
Yeah. The first one will shoot you in the face. The next two will leave you going, am I dead now? Or do I put my head down? Anyway, you have my ninja powers.
Right.
Well, we've gotten to the end. We've talked so long about 3 movies, to be fair. Maybe it was ambitious or overly ambitious to try to talk about another movie, which is itself, I think, an interesting counterpoint It features a warrior who is clearly not going to get killed by anybody, who is involved in a story that is just plot.
Yeah.
It goes from place to place to place to place to place.
That's true.
And it is a movie called The Last of the Mohicans, made in 1992. There have been previous versions of this story. The book, of course, by James Fenimore Cooper from his Leatherstocking Tales. There was a 1920 silent version and a 1936 version starring Randolph Scott.
Okay.
Which was probably, people really like that one. I actually have not seen that one, but it was supposedly really strong. And so Michael Mann came along and he said, boy, if you had told me I could just shoot people in the face, I would have made those movies. But instead, I made Manhunter. And I guess I did make the face shooting movie when I made Heat. But I've also made Last of the Mohicans, a movie that nobody really asked for. But when it came out in 1992, did real good. Remember that I went to school in Springfield, Missouri. So it was already out of the theater by the time I got there for college. But my friends introduced me to the movie and they're like, this played like all year. Like when it came, it didn't leave for a year. People just kept, I've seen this like 14 times.
Sure.
People love this film.
What'd
you think?
I think it's a good film.
But give me like your let's come at this. Let's prove me wrong. Let's make me the bad guy right away. Okay.
Okay.
Let's come at this from a sexist perspective and say that you wouldn't care about a French and Indian War movie where Daniel Day-Lewis is like, I will find you. No matter what occurs, stay alive. Why would you care?
Because I think it.
No, I mean you don't have to answer like my question. Why? That's what's hanging above us. Now you tell us how it's so good and so unisex, and I should go stuff myself.
Well, I think it's not just about the plot; it's about the characters, and I think you genuinely.
Is it?
Well, to some extent, I think you genuinely care about these characters, and you want to see good things happen to them. Are
they going to get to Kentucky?
Yeah, I know. That's all they wanted, and I don't think that
I'm
that
not
happened.
even supposed to be here today.
I know.
I just
right?
wanted to go to Kentucky.
Exactly. I think it's really sad when they come across the frontier cabin and the family who they are clearly really good friends with is all dead.
Yeah.
And they're like, they didn't steal anything, so it clearly wasn't about stealing,
And it's exactly what everybody was worried about.
Yes.
So this is, I think, in a lot of ways, I don't know. I mean, I haven't read the Fenimore Cooper books. I don't know what Natty Bumppo thinks about the American Revolution. Mm-hmm. But you make this movie in 1992. Michael Mann, Mr. America himself, makes the movie. And so it serves as a prelude to, you can't just make a movie where the British are the good guys. You have to make a movie that is like the prequel to the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And so we see specifically a bunch of colonists who are, tasked to defend these,
to help out.
To act as a militia and fight in the French Indian War, and then being hard done by and being like, a character like literally says like tyranny in the same sentence as like, I don't know if we should do this anymore.
Right.
It's like, all right, you want to hear the fife and drum start to come up
exactly
as he walks off. I mean that's there, but it's secondary. It just serves as color, and a lot of things in this film serve as background and color, and they aren't relentlessly explained necessarily. And it's a movie that probably has about as much dialogue as any other movie, but feels like it's very sparse. And I've laughed when you said character before, but I think it's true. We do have to know the relationships between the characters to understand the plot and where we're going. Yeah. But the characters are drawn quickly and strongly.
Yeah, fair.
And even when Madeline Stowe spends half the movie just mooning over Hawkeye,
yeah,
you still understand her investment in this, and her father, who is a conflicted guy as well, who is nominally a good guy, wants to defend his daughters, but yet can't have all these colonists just coming in and out and going out whenever they want.
Right.
Yeah, you understand that. Sadly, I think like Chingachgook and Uncas are like, we get the least from them. We just know that they're with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm not sure, I don't know how deep we drill down. I know the book itself and other movie versions, Uncas is almost the main character.
Okay.
In fact, he is in, I think, the silent one.
Okay.
And it's really, this is not totally historical. It's not even like accurate to the book necessarily. I think it flips around and like, I think Uncas is sweet on Cora and Nathaniel is sweet on Alice, and the ages are shifted a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, the fact that like, at the end, Chingachgook is like, I'm the last of the Mohicans. It's like, oh, you're the last of the Mohicans. Well, I feel like the movie should have done a little more with that. But instead, it's all about this pre-revolutionary thing. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised we didn't see like a young guy. He's like, what do you think, George? He's like, well, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I do know what you mean. I do think it was interesting, like the British not quite being bad guys, but not quite being good guys.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. So I think that was an interesting choice.
Tell me more about that choice.
Why
are you laughing?
I don't know. I mean, because they were there to, they thought, defend their colonies, and they're like, no, this is our land.
Let me help you. The real climax of the film is a conversation in 3 languages.
Yeah.
That's the climax.
Mm-hmm.
Alice and Uncas dying.
Yes.
Sad. Makwa finally getting what he so richly deserves.
Right.
Yet at the same time, he's a tragic character too.
Yeah.
He explains his backstory, and you're like, I can see why you're mad. But,
right. The British killed
that's
his children.
All kind of, it's even played as never miss a chance to just blast that theme.
Yeah, I know. Right?
It's just played off like, that just happens. But like the spiritual climax of the film is when we go before the Huron chief.
Yes.
And everybody's laying their case out. And like
yes.
the real superpower in this film is multilingualism. It's the ability to speak more than one language.
Right.
And it's just having Magua lay out his thing and the guy go, that's nuts. Like, I'm sad that happened to you, but here's how we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. You're going to kill one because you deserve that.
Yeah.
But we're going to send the white guy back because we don't want them mad at us.
Right.
And you're going to let the other one go. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And just seeing that, like, as much as he thinks that, oh, there's this native justice and the red man, there are savages. But the chief red man is like, literally, is like, what are you talking about? That's nuts.
Yeah, I know.
And then you see, as the white audience, which this movie, I don't know. I wonder how, like, I have to ask my native friends what they think of this film. But did we talk about how, like, thank God we got all these white savior heroes.
Yeah,
we got Hawkeye. We got
Dances Will.
we got John Dunbar.
Yeah.
So I can go to like a Halloween party like with a full beaded vest. People are like, what's going on here? I'm like, oh no, it's cool. I'm Natty Bumppo. It's cool.
Stop it.
But the movie is like, it says to you, no, look, these guys have their own thing going on. You know what I mean? They got leather pants on, but they are bad dudes.
Right.
And then you've got other dudes who also don't want anything to do with the white man, but they're like, what are you doing? You're nuts.
Right.
And then, you get the chance for the British officer who's done nothing the entire movie to
sacrifice
have this
himself.
one, heroic thing to say, take me
instead.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they, didn't the chief say that he should take Alice as like his wife or something like that and like have children with her or something like that?
So he says like, don't. So you want to kill all of Monroe's kids.
Yeah.
So his seed is gone or whatever.
Right.
And he's just saying, no, leave one so his seed doesn't go. But he doesn't say what's going to happen to that seed.
Oh,
so
okay.
you could just, why not take her as your wife? And you think Monroe would probably hate the fact that, his grandson is your son.
Right.
Well, maybe we don't get that deep into it.
Okay.
But yeah, the thing is I think for them, it's like if all your descendants die, then your family is gone forever.
Your line is gone.
And if your daughter lives on, whatever happens to her, your family still exists in the world.
Sure.
But yeah, he doesn't like also say free her.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And then like it was really sad when she was like, she just made her own choice and was like, I'm going to jump. But
yeah. So I think we should do another show on this.
Oh.
So let's talk about that real fast and wrap it up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think it was her making her own choice, with her life and being like, I'm going to control this and I don't want to go with you. I don't know what's going to happen. It freaks me out.
Yep.
So I'm going to jump instead.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, you just killed somebody who was really protective.
Who might have been
towards
my
me.
boyfriend if there was another
Right.
half an hour in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a flimsy.
Yeah.
It reminds me of The Birth of a Nation, where the lady
boy.
jumps off the cliff so she doesn't get R'd by some white actors in blackface.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't hate it. I just think that, especially in cinema,
Mm-hmm.
you're using vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
The words are images.
Yes.
And just like in language, they come from earlier images, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing that, know why you're doing that and have a good reason to do that.
Right.
And I think man rides the line. I didn't think that there was never any suggestion that it's like, it's going to be a real bad scene, like once we get you back to the camp or whatever. Like there's never any suggestion of that.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, that has happened in war
Yeah.
many times, no matter what color the people are.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you that it was more just, I don't, my only sin here is not having the faith that, actually it's not being Hawkeye's girlfriend,
Right.
but it's not having the faith of, if only Hawkeye had also gone to Alice and went, Alice, I love your sister and I care about you. Stay alive. No matter what occurs, don't jump off a cliff.
Right.
Yeah, we should have said that to her. But
Yeah.
it is that same thing where it's just like, I'm just a little English girl and I've seen so much death.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen and I
Right.
just can't take it.
Yeah.
And that's like 2 minutes before the movie ends.
I know.
And we don't deal with that at all.
No, I
The movie
don't.
just ends.
Yeah.
And that's real sad.
It is real sad.
And I don't even know if that happens in the book.
I don't know.
I haven't read the book. Apparently the
Yeah.
books aren't not very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know. James Fenimore Cooper's, I don't know. I think some of the stuff's good, some not. But apparently I think the book is not very good.
Oh, okay.
But people praise it because, he wrote it in like times when even black people weren't, couldn't walk around,
Sure, yeah.
And we definitely had bad ideas about the Indians. But here he is writing in a whole series of, there's like 5 or 6 books.
Okay.
Where, if not accurately, 100% accurately portrayed, Native Americans are the sympathetic characters, and in
Sure.
some cases the main characters.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is way too much for a show where we just sort of glance off of it. So we got to come back, talk about this later. We've talked long enough.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up. How are you doing?
Good.
Voice good?
Okay. It's doing okay.
Well, you haven't used it much, so
Hey.
hopefully it is good still. Oh, no, sorry, go ahead.
I would recommend this.
Oh, well, we're going to come back.
Okay.
I would as well.
Okay.
Even for girls.
Wow.
A girl would like it.
Yes.
Would a girl like John Wick? am I
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
What am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing.
What are they doing? They're just like, what character or actress is Crazy Eyes going to be in John Wick 4?
I don't know.
They're
Maybe.
just milking Orange is the New Black for,
I know, right?
for female characters in these films. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but
Right.
we've got one source here.
Yeah.
What do girls like? We got to get girls to watch these movies.
Yeah. Well,
I love Batwoman.
have more girls in
But
it.
don't have her
then.
talk, though.
Right?
Give Common a ton of lines.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
I don't
most
know
accurately named rapper. Anyway. We did it. We've done it. We're done.
Yes.
We will talk. We have talked.
Yes.
We will continue to talk.
Mm-hmm.
That is our curse. But I'm not cutting anything off. Forget that. Cut us off by talking yourself, by finding us on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and also Discord. We've got that link in our show notes to join us on Discord and talk about this. And this is how I talk about films, I don't have to like everything.
No.
I know you don't, listener, and that's fine. And I'll be respectful, but I'll tell you what I think. I almost like disagreeing more than I like agreeing.
Okay. Why is that?
Because it's more interesting.
Oh, okay. I guess so.
I love Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Boring conversation.
What? Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess I see where you're
I would
going.
love to talk to somebody who doesn't like Ghostbusters just to
Okay.
know what's wrong with them.
Okay.
Dropped on their head as a kid. No, we're going to be respectful. And that's the kind of respect you can expect on Discord. So join us. Check out all the other shows on the Just Enough Trope Network. I think John Wick is very video game-esque.
Yes.
And I think the guys at Virtual Theater have toyed with talking about movies that are like influenced by games.
Yes.
And this, I don't know, maybe this would be one of them one day. So maybe go over there and hear that when that happens. But hear the other stuff they're doing as well. Follow us or subscribe to the show on all the platforms that you can find. We're on most of them. I have a friend who is just put his show on. Actually, we'll just plug him right now. We're talking about Generations Geek, which is a father-daughter podcast about geeky topics. And Scott Pearson is one of the hosts of that. And he was telling me that he's put the show on all those great things. And he's going through the list, and I'm like, yeah, great. I'm like, am I on all those things?
Oh, no.
Did he discover something I don't know about?
Oh, really?
But I don't think so.
Okay.
We're on most of them.
Yeah.
So if you're not an Apple Podcasts user or a Google Podcasts user, good. I don't know what their stance on China is. I'm sure it's bad.
Right.
But you can find us on any old podcatching thing. Get our RSS feed and
Yes.
get to it. Also, give us a review when you see us on those platforms because that helps the show so much.
Yeah.
We have to say it all the time because people have to be reminded all the time. But it really does. Let us know what you think about the show. If you really love John Wick, just ignore this show and then give us a rating because I'm sure that you would like the rest of what we talk about. And
Yep.
that rating is also very important. That's how the computer knows that we're doing a good job. We get a high rating and we get exposed to new people when they search for things like this. So give us 5 gold coins.
Yes.
That's a Christmas song, isn't it?
Well, I think so. Yes.
We keep seeing too in the beginning of the second one. We go. I think it's the second one. We go to the Continental, and Ian McShane is accepting a new shipment of coins, which is maybe his sort of tithe or his allowance that he gets from the high table.
Yeah.
And then in the third film, we go to Bronn, where Bronn lives.
Yes.
And that's where they make the coins.
Yes.
So you're going to tell me they're playing a long game, but I'm like, don't, just get it out there.
Yeah.
I just want the answers now.
I know, right?
It's too much.
I know. And then nobody gets
What if every
dunked into the molten
Oh
metal?
yeah, they have a whole scene where they're smelting coins.
Yes.
And nobody gets. John Wick doesn't dunk anybody's head in a vat of molten gold.
I know. I was very disappointed.
They couldn't afford it.
Yeah. They did it on Game of Thrones, so.
Well, yeah, they've already got the Game of Thrones guy. I don't know. I don't know. So I skip that. Give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate it. We'll be back next week to talk about something else. And until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.